Hi, this is Andrew Berman. You're watching another Originator Tech. With me today, I got Matthew VanFossen, who's a mortgage banker, a technologist, a leader in the mortgage business. Matthew, thank you so much for joining us today. So, wanted to have you come on to talk about the Big POS. So listen, let's talk about the genesis of this. What was the problem that you saw in the mortgage business, as an IMB, as a successful mortgage banker, that you said, we need to fix this?
Well, first, Andrew, thank you for having me back. Always great to have another conversation with you. Many conversations through the years. You've watched, I think, a lot of my career over the past decade or so unfold, and the different businesses that we've built. So it's definitely exciting. And yeah, the big point of sale, right? It seems to be making a lot of buzz, a lot of traction in the market. What some people thought I was joking about 5 years ago when I started talking about releasing it, they're like, "Are you really going to do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, totally." They're like, "All right, have fun, buddy." It's turned very real, very quick. It's been making a lot of waves. So definitely exciting. But we definitely did see a need in the market, right? I didn't just wake up one day and say, "Oh, I'm going to open up a point of sale system." It came out of my frustration with really lack of customization and different contractual obligations and how vendors in our space operate. So I'll go ahead and I'll break down what I mean there. When I look at point of sale in general, it's where the client lives, meaning the mortgage consumer. It's where the loan officer should be living to take applications and manage their apps. And it's where our referral partners, our real estate agents, our attorneys, they live to track and refer and maintain their shared database with us. In essence, it's all of a mortgage company's client base. Their loan officers that are their clients, their clients that are their clients, right? And their referral partners. And you should have full control of that experience. You should have full control of customizing that experience. You should be able to ask what questions you want to ask and what emails you want to send. And I saw that the overarching basis in the point of sale space was that it lacked customization, that it was very one size fits all kind of shoe. It didn't allow for application customization, notification customization. And when you did want those customizations, you had to go and put together like a statement of work with your vendor. And it became extremely costly. And the biggest part is you weren't allowed to keep any of your own IP in the system. It wasn't open source where you can go change some of the code and fork your system different from the next lender that's using their system. You would have to pay to hand over your intellectual property. So I saw all of that. And I said, okay, there's got to be a better way. But what really motivated me was kind of the sales cycle. I looked at software as a service in the mortgage industry. It's kind of broken. We work a lot different than any other industry. Look at Microsoft Office. Look at Canva. Look at Adobe. You go to the website, you see a price, you pick which option you want, you click Get Started, you install it, and you get going, start using it.
Today.
You don't have to
right away.
Go to a conference, see a trade show booth, right? Then come back, schedule a demo, go to their website, not see how much it costs because somebody's getting a custom deal, right? And then you do 3 more demos, and then you go through a contract review because it's a 3-year contract you're signing, potentially a $500,000 3-year deal. And then before you know, you wake up 6 months later, you're still not even using the software, and you're supposed to be, rolling it out. You're like, what just happened? So I said, you know what? Somebody's going to step in and change the dynamic of software as a service in the mortgage industry. And a point of sale system is a perfect way to do it. And if it's designed right from the get-go and it's designed with the right core architecture, you can get both. You can get a fully customized system that you can put your own IP into and fork the application, open source, customization. And if you do a couple of different things with the way it's architected, you can actually get to rapid deployment, meaning 72 hours is my goal. I wanted from when you hit go, you were able to get into a month-to-month contract, install the software, and 72 hours later have an out-of-the-box system. So that was like the biggest motivating factor behind identifying the problem in the market and then saying, okay, this is what we're going to actually solve here. Customization and low-impact implementation.
So now, what's the difference between customization and, let's say, configuration? Because
Mhm.
to me, I always feel like customization sounds like I need outside help or I need an IT department. Like I can't just be a marketing person or an executive that does the customization. But what are your feelings about that?
Well, I consider it light, medium, and heavy. Okay.
Hmm.
Low code, medium code, heavy code, right? Low code is like configuration. A loan officer doesn't want the apply by phone option on their landing page. So I'm going to go into the settings, I'm going to click a button, I'm going to turn that option off. That's configuration. I want to change the color of something, right? That's configuration. Customization is medium level impact to your system. I want to change what a system notification says. I don't like the wording on that. I don't like the wording on the application and the order that the questions are asked. Okay. This may need some general coding ability, about the same level of skill set as an Encompass administrator, writing a business rule, or somebody that writes advanced Excel formulas or a macro. So you don't have to be a source code developer, and you can self-customize. This is where our system is open source. We have full open source code editors that has like this light medium code editing ability in it to go fork your application. Very cool. First of its kind. And then there's heavy. Heavy is you're a source code developer, right? You are going and literally writing the back end software, integrating with different APIs, working on UI design. That's heavy code.
Fantastic. I appreciate the differentiation. So in terms of the target audience, I mean, obviously, I assume you are your target audience, as an absolute. But like if we had to look at the different kind of companies that have been successful using the Big POS, please share that.
Yeah, sure. It's really any type of mortgage professional. We have mainly IMBs on the platform. So mid-size enterprise IMB has been where we've seen a lot of success. So companies that are similar to mine, anywhere from 300 million to 2.5 billion in annual originations, anywhere from 30 to 500 loan originators. But we've recently seen some great traction with the credit union and community bank models. They really love our architecture because we share a database with Encompass. So we don't hold our clients' consumer data inside a WebDB. We keep it right inside their LOS. So when they're going through what's called their RFPs, their requests for proposals, and they're doing our data security reviews, they really appreciate that architecture, that simplifies database. So we're making great traction in those markets as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, that's great. So anything that's on the horizon, things that you see that that the Big POS is going to be able to do in the future that it's not currently doing today?
Well, we have an extensive roadmap. The one thing that we like to say is we're users of the software ourselves. I'm still a loan officer. I still originate. I was raised mortgage. I'm addicted to it. I can't stop. If a client or somebody's referred to me on my phone, I'm opening up my point of sale application and I'm going to take that application, right? I'm going to disclose it from my phone. I'm going to structure it. I'm going to pre-qual it. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to see that loan through. So that always continues to motivate me and my team to continue to innovate on the product and be building on that foundation. As far as like a more macro sense of where we're taking the product, it's not just about the big point of sale. There's also two products. One is in the market right now that we just launched a couple of months ago. It's called Big Agent. It's the real estate partner version of Big Point of Sale. So it does buyer agency agreements, open house check-ins, and has a shared contact database with Big POS. So agent using Big Agent to go do buyer agency agreements can share that data with a sponsoring loan officer. And that brings, because point of sale steps in usually when you get a referral. It does nothing to actually go get you business. Big Agent is going and getting business for agents and loan officers and keeping it inside of that life cycle. And now we're right around this spring, should be coming out soon. We are going to be releasing our first CRM, which we will call the little CRM, of course. So we have the Big Agent, the big point of sale, and the little CRM is dropping. It's a shared CRM for real estate agents and loan officers. It's just good enough, right? Sometimes you need something big. Sometimes you just need a little bit of follow-up and communication. So we'll be sticking with our brand mantras. And yeah, it's going to be the first fully integrated CRM that caters to real estate agents and loan officers in a shared database that also integrates to ICE Mortgage Technologies and Compass. So, we're going to continue the way we look at the life cycle of the transaction before, during, and after, right? If before you start using somebody is big agent, checking in people at open houses, getting them a buyer agency to get that referral earlier. Big point of sale is during the transaction. Little CRM will encompass all of that and follow up after the transaction as well, the full life cycle, and that will be the family of products.
Fantastic. I love it. I'm sure actually there's other things on the roadmap that you're not even sharing that'll come actually as innovation happens. You've never stopped thinking. You never stopped looking at ways to kind of make this mortgage business better. I've watched you, from behind, just do some amazing things. Matthew, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
You got it, Andrew. Thanks, buddy.
And I'm Andrew Berman. Thank you for watching.
For more on these and all of today's top stories, go to nationalmortgageprofessional.com.